Welcome back everyone to the replay of the week. So this replay is going to be the first one that I made since IBC and Archon of the Moon came up. And as you can see here in my box, since my last replay, that I've added Diehard and IBC in. So I didn't add Archon in because on this account, Archon is only 3-star, so I didn't bother building it. So yeah, you can see Hilda and Autocrato are still here. In the version that I played on my main account, I actually kicked out Autocrato for Archon, but yeah, here he's still here. So my opponent that I'm fighting against, a pretty interesting box. It's a 3-tank 4-healer box, so very defensive box. So let's see how the draft works out. Okay, here I actually started already. The first ban on Lucretia. It's just a standard ban because Lucretia really does too much. So here Pepsi gets banned, which to me personally, I wouldn't say I don't really get it, but I don't really get it because if you're a very defensive box, actually Pepsi himself is not a very threatening unit. Usually if you are playing hard tank push, you want to ban Werner. Werner is the one that has the highest kill range out of all the assassins. And yeah, you can say Pepsi is the buffer, but if you just ban Werner, and then you give Pepsi, and then you ban like maybe Sigma after that if you're scared, pretty sure like Cherry, Diehard, and Pepsi are on the weaker side of assassins, especially if you're playing a very defensive style. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on this ban for a defensive box. So Hilda comes out, so this basically is kind of good news for me because I plan to give most of the tanks and healers anyway. So this tank pick here means that he's gonna lose 2 more DPS suddenly. And here originally my idea was I was gonna ban like, I don't know, ban 2 assassins and then just pick Rosen. But then there was a U-turn, so why not I do it the other way? I ban the 2 AoE units and then I pick Hilda. So 2 Hilda first picks here, which is actually kind of rare nowadays. So here the healers go away, but it's fine because most of the units left are single target. I'm not really that pressured to have a healer. Here Kyra gets picked out of all the DPS, which is interesting. Because Kyra, you know, she's on a decline nowadays, I would say. She mostly found her way back into the box because IBC exists now and you can do like stupid shit if it's a straight map. So yeah, this is pretty interesting pick for a DPS choice. So after that, I just ban Wetham and Epsilon, and I just picked Diehard. So the 2 bans here is because I looked at the box. The remaining DPS is Tejas, Towa, Wetham, and Pepsi. So between these 4 DPS, I just think these 2 are more threatening overall. Like Tejas, like Towa is usually there for defensive purposes, for fixed damage, immune, that sort of stuff. And as a DPS, not the strongest, although he does have Hilda already, so he can technically ignore guard on anyone that doesn't have a faction buff, but overall, not the most threatening unit. And Tejas, usually, I would say defensive players probably don't prioritize her as much because they want to play under the tank, and Tejas is very easy to snipe, even though she can just hang at the back most of the time. And also Tejas is not that threatening because I have a tag, so Tejas with Kyra is like kind of whatever. Just enables the Kyra slightly more. And my diehard pick here is because I want to open up the option of picking Cherry or IBC down the line, because he pretty much kind of just faction buffs one other female unit, and Tejas and Lucretia is already buffed by Hilda, so diehard on top of being a very long range assassin can open up the Cherry and IBC picks. So here 2 more assassins get banned, and then the Toa comes out, so you know, it's pretty much announcing that he's gonna just play very turtle. So again, you know, Cherry, if you are fixed immune on these guys, I actually don't think Cherry can do much. So I guess it's just you know, he just doesn't want to deal with more assassins. So I can respect that. So here I ban the 2 immunity healers and I pick Lucretia. So between these 4 healers, you are basically deciding whether you want to give Egg again or mass immunities. So not really mess. She pretty much immunizes one other hero and herself from the 3C. But it's annoying because it's a reflect instead of just prevention. So banning immunities means that I open up Diehard's stun, Lucretia's debuffs from like Black Hole or her 3C, Autocrato, Wet Ham, IBC. So yeah, just banning immunities enables the potential of a lot more stuff. So, and I know that if I ban 2 healers, he's gonna pick a healer for sure, because there's no way you're gonna play a 3 tank 4 healer box and not pick a healer. So Sigma, the last assassin, and Wet Ham goes away because I banned the immunities. He's probably a bit scared of Wet Ham, the despair. And then he picks Liana, so expected here. So here I ban the remaining 2 tanks and pick IBC. So I banned the 2 tanks for multiple reasons. The first one is because I'm already trying to pivot into a kill the tank kind of draft. So Lucretia plus IBC. IBC is very strong against tanks because her debuff basically means that their troops don't heal anymore. It's minus 80% healing on troops. And IBC also enables, it's pretty much just here to enable Lucretia actually. Lucretia plus a puppet. So an insane amount of range from Lucretia. And the tanks are also anti-range aura, so pretty much for all my DPS actually, they all do range attacks. So banning the 2 aura tanks means that he basically just has the anti-crit from Hilda and nothing else. There's no reduced range damage sources. And also finally, because I didn't want to deal with Christian plus Toa when I don't have a healer, she just puts the pedal on Toa and then she just acts again in front of your whole team and you can't do shit about it and you take a lot of fixed damage. Didn't want to deal with that, would rather deal with another act again or TJS. So here TJS Autocrato gets banned. This is why it comes out. Like I mentioned earlier, I think defensive players really don't like picking TJS, especially if there's an assassin on the other side, because it's just too easy to kill. And yeah, 2 act against here. So I round up the draft with Ares, just to put more pressure on the Hilda. So these 3 DPS are pretty decent at hitting the tanks. I usually don't draft to kill the tank because I think it's really bad on tempo. But in this case, I guess it's okay because the DPS aren't that strong, you know. So I think I can spend a few more turns on just hitting the tank and come out alive. So yeah, that's what I end up with. So just to take a look at the skills, every single target, Lucretia 3 single target attacks, IBC double attacks, and Diehard with his Oath skill. So, you know, from the draft, kind of already suspected it based on the box style, but this Kyra is most probably mid ring. 1145 in is kind of low. And even if it wasn't, the Hoa is gonna be able to give fixed damage immune aura anyway from the stoicism. So yeah, here. Immune to fixed damage, cannot be displaced, although Hilda already prevents displacement. So it's just the defense and the fixed damage immunity from Toa. And Liana's the usual. CC White brought Dismiss instead of Inspire for the +1 mobility, so no, that's cool. Hilda's regular. So yeah, turn 1, probably just gonna be spent buffing up. I just put my Lucretia in front because I'm not really worried about, you know, being threatened by either of these. She has a revive, they can't reach the puppet. And here Toa blows a 3C, so you know, it's pretty much announcing I'm going to stall because defensive stance, I don't think this is gonna kill anything. He can only ignore guard against people that don't have faction buff anyway, which is going to be IBC and Diehard. So blowing that skill also lowers her mobility by a lot because her other act against skill can only be used within 3 blocks of an ally. So yeah, so she's basically too far to do anything right now. Current positioning. I dropped my strike formation on both Lucretia units. So I don't really get this move because his DPS kinda ignore the tank already. So the only thing I can I can say from this is he's trying to break my anti-crit aura. And he's trying to do something with Kyra next turn or something. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Oath of Karma, Gospels. So the reason why I didn't think he was going to try to do anything with Kyra is because, well, yeah, he can retreat back into guard, but if she hits Lucretia, she's gonna take quite a bit of counter damage. And I think after that counter damage, Die Hard will be able to kill it. So yeah, I don't really get what that cavalry unit was for. Basically didn't really do much. Just put my Ares in front, outside of Kyra's range. He buffs with Hilda, I buff with Hilda. So now the two units in front are basically immune, but like Towa can't hit them. He uses his other Act Against skill and manages to copy the breeze over to his Kyra. Oh yeah, now my Ares is in threat range. But at this point he moved 1 DPS already, so only Kyra is active still. So Lucretia is in range, Ares is in range, IBC is in range of the tank, so this is a pretty good time for me to initiate. Because, you know, if he wants to counter kill me, he's gonna have to burn some Act Against. And if you're burning your Act Again, you're not healing the tank. So I lead with IBC because IBC dispels 5 and he puts the troop healing debuff on the Hilda. So yeah, breakdown. Soldier healing effects are reduced by 80. And I also initiated with IBC because she's bringing Sensi Mercenaries. So I suspect that this Kyra might not be able to one-shot her. And he tries here. Gets the crit and it still doesn't kill. So this is a 5-star IBC. IBC by herself is actually pretty frail. Like the only reason she's tanky is because of this. When she's alone, she gets like double of all the stats. So it's pretty hard for weaker DPS like Kyra to one-shot her, especially magic DPS. Fails to kill. Gives a bit of healing over to to the Hilda. I follow up with Ares. So actually, I forgot to say that the other reason for IBC initiating is she dispels 5. So you can see before IBC initiated, Hilda has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 buffs. So IBC has the potential to dispel Conversion or his guard. So mostly the guard is relevant in this case. Even the stats actually matter because I'm trying to kill it actually. So yeah, so here you see the 4 turns on the shield icon. So the guard is basically already dispelled at this point. But since my draft is focused on killing the tank, I'm just gonna continue hitting the tank until it dies. Not like I'm going to go kill the Towa or something. It's probably unkillable at this point still. 1 life from Hilda gone here. So I have the exclusive and a faction buff, so I'm able to retreat. Act again on the Kyra. And Lucretia finishes Hilda off with a 3C. So yeah, you can see I basically spent 3 attacks on killing the tank, but it's okay because, even after burning that Act again, his Kyra still hasn't killed anything yet. All my units are still alive technically. So I'm not in too much of a pressure situation now. Kyra just kills by Ares is whatever. Ares already did his job. So here, throw Die Hard in. And I hit the Liana, even though I know that it's not going to kill, because my objective is not actually killing the Liana. I just want to stun the CC White. And hitting the Liana basically guarantees that I can stun the CC White because I can move 2 blocks after it. Stun. And he immediately wakes up. So he loses, like he basically cannot act again. So, and I get turn priority back. And I just throw the Dark Reaper onto Towa, it dies. Then I just swap my Lucretia back. Because at this point, Kyra has no skills left, so it's in a pretty shit situation for him already. He finishes off my IBC. And he revealed that he's actually Pale Staff there. So here I kill the Liana with a normal attack. and I stun the CCY again. So this CCY hasn't been able to move other than the first turn. Tries to hit my diehard. Here I try to, I've pretty much won already, so I want to try and see if I can kill the Kyra and stun the CCY again. You can see she has 10 coins. Basically hasn't been able to do anything this entire game. But I didn't get a crit and it failed to kill, so that's sad. Tries to desperate measure again, the Lancer, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I still have Breeze on my Grisha. And I just finish off the game with a free strike. And that'll be that. So, pretty interesting game. So, tank busting isn't usually my strat of choice. Because, you just have to spend a lot of hits on the tank before it goes down. So, it's usually like at least 3 hits because most tanks you won't be able to one-shot directly unless it's like, you bring Elwyn into like a double infantry Christian, that sort of stuff. And usually it's just more efficient to, pick off their DPS with assassins or displacement. But in this case, the DPS on the weaker side, like you see, Kyra couldn't even kill IBC after the crit. So yeah, I was able to overwhelm his lineup with the 2 healers. And yeah, so that worked out pretty beautifully. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.